Alright lads, I'm going to teach you the environment with the meta tool. In 2K22, there's far more agency in terms of how you install a mod. So first things first, in your mods folder, I'm using my dev environment folder, which is different to yours. You need a characters folder and you need a roster folder. Now, these are fundamental to the characters. Without them, it won't work. So first things first, you want to go to Cake Tools and you're going to open baked file 00, then go to characters, click the folder, don't open it up, and you'll see character mapping. Double click it and extract this into your characters folder. Then scroll down to roster, extract character profile table.roster, and we put this in your roster folder. You also want to extract face textures. Okay, once that's done, you're basically ready now. Now, unfortunately, after testing, I was trying to make it so that you could save some of your data before the wipe. It just wouldn't work. For whatever reason, it just crashes when I was coding it and testing it with Cheat Engine. So, sad news is, it's a full wipe. So it's better to just rip the band-aid off now and get it over and done with. So you want to locate to your Steam folder, user data, and find the WWE 2K22 folder, which is the 1255630. Then go into remote, and these two files, you want to just get rid of them, unfortunately. Now, go to where you've downloaded Meta. Once you've downloaded it, you will see these file structures. Just run the exe. It has to run an admin because you're injecting memory data. So when you first load Meta, you'll be presented with this. You have to select your mods folder that you're working with, or else it just won't work. So select that one. Now it's going to ask you if you want cause. This is incredibly important because it's a one-way thing. You can either have cause or you cannot. And once you've made that decision, you cannot go back on it without having to wipe your save again. This is just the way 2K changed their format after they decided to be spiteful. For me, I don't like cause. I think they're terrible. I prefer mods. So, do you want to keep cause? No. Would you like Meta to automatically install the roster slot file? I recommend that you do this. If you're using another template, then there's going to be conflict, and it just will not work. It's just use the Meta one, and I'll just say yes. File already exists. Replace, yes. So once that's done, Meta's initialized. You'll notice it created a config file in here. It's just stock information that I'll be using later on. What it's also done, it's created a cache, and inside this cache is filtered all the slot information for you. Without this, you wouldn't know what slot is which. So yeah, if games are blank, that's shit. We want everything back. So if you bake the folder, this is fundamental before you start the game. If you don't do this, it won't work. So make sure you just bake and then run it once. Okay, so if you went to play the game, you'll see that nothing's unlocked. It's a base game. So go back to the menu, open Meta, go to utility, unlock everything. Everything is now unlocked. Now if you go back to play, you'll see everything's now unlocked. However, it's not permanently unlocked. What you need to do, go to your options roster, edit superstar, just select a random jabron, do an edit, save all settings, and now it's permanently unlocked. Alright, so now we're going to get to installing a character. Now this is the character creation, which can be found on create character. So it's similar to data editor if you've done it before. I guess some differences would be the strings. These are the IDs in the SDB editor. You just copy them over. It's no big issue. The wrestler ID and the slot ID are also very important. Those can be found on a spreadsheet. I'll put them in the description, or they'll be somewhere. Okay, so once you've done that, you just export. And once you export all, currently export individually is not available. It will be in a future update. When you click export all, it'll generate 4 files. These 4 files are all your data that have been combined for injection. So when you release a character, you need to include these as well. Alright, so now you want to install the character. So first we go to File, Open Character, Roster Table, locate to your mod directory, roster, then the character profile table. You'll see it populate. These are all the characters in the game. So I'm going to install to this one because the character that I've built, which is Malachi, uses this slot here. So all you do is just right click, import again, locate towards your character test, and you'll see it's already asking for the correct file. Just click that. You're about to import new data. Are you sure? Include attire information. Now, if it is not a custom slot, the ones that we placed in the game, this will not work. So do not do it. However, this is a custom slot. It does have attire information, like extra attires. So I'm going to click yes. Slot data injected successfully. You'll see it's also renamed it. You can rename this to anything you want. Pop-up window, just whatever. So once that's done, that's injected. Now you're not finished. You will need to do open character, asset map, locate to your mod directory, characters, character mapping. This file tells the game what MDL to look for, what textures to look for, everything like that. So I'm going to just import character test Malachi, and you can see it's already put it in here. I've put a bunch of bullshit in just for the sake of a tutorial. You can close that, and we're going to do the renders. File open renders, look it to your mod directory again, roster, face textures, this will populate, all the characters in here. This parser is not 100%. You'll see some errors like this. Doesn't matter, because what you need to do, for example, if the rock has multiple attires in the future, all you do is just import and kill an import, and what that will do is it will kill all the data here, import it as a fresh block with our template. So since we've downloaded a mod, we want to install the renders, just file, import, ftex, and you'll see it's imported it successfully. All the renders are here. They're in reverse order because the game's stupid. Once that's done, you can close that. Keep this selected because you're going to need to do this. Now, bake. Pull up meta. Click prime memory. This will take a minute. What it's doing is it's scanning the memory for the slot information. Specific slot. It's found it. I don't have a universe mode. So a universe would pop up here. I built in an all function just so you can inject to every single one all in one. Speeds up the process. Click inject memory. Select Malachi. Boom, injected. So if we go to our character, there he is. Obviously the renders daft because, that's like I said, I put bullshit in. You will need to do a quick save because it's memory. Save all settings. And then if I go to the game, and the reason I showed you that is because he has no entrance. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to go into the game and put just copy an entrance over, and it'll work. As you can see, it's all working fine. So if you want to make a quick edit to a character mapping, like in the previous clip, you saw that I was using the Miz. So I'll change it just for the sake of tutorial. So I'm going to take his hash just to show you where it is. These asset maps are floating around. So if I do a search for it, you'll see it's pointing to the Miz in his folder. So if I wanted to select, I don't know, let's use Savage. I'll put that in here. The tool knows the difference between a hash and a folder directory, so it'll generate for you to work. So I'll take Savage's base model and let's stick Bossman's outfit on him just for the sake of tutorial. So all you have to do is just hit save. It generates the hashes for you, as you saw. Then we just rebake. And what we will see is Randy Savage with broken textures and Big Bossman's attire. There we go. And the reason it's black is because Savage doesn't have the outfit textures that point towards the Bossman's mesh IDs. So if you want to do the same thing for the renders, open the renders. You can see this here. We were using TED-DB before, so I'm going to use, I don't know, let's use Savage, considering we used him as a base. I'm going to copy his hash ID. Again, like before, you can put the full path in. I'm just going to put the hash ID in here to show you that it acknowledges the difference. Hit save, it saved it. So now if we go over to our critter, you'll see renders changed. Now I'm going to show you how to unlock a slot. So if we have a character in the game, like a my faction or wherever the it is, and you want it to be unlocked, you want to play as it, you want to use the slot. Basically, you find the guy. I'll go. So I'm going to use the AEW Sexual Mark Thompson unlock. Now, you'll notice on some of these files, they will have a shared slot because some slots share the same one. And what you'll have to do is just unlock slot with parent. That's done. That's all you need to do. Maybe we'll unlock an additional one just to add some flavor. Let's see, we'll unlock this one, WWE staff. Unlock slot with parent. So now all we need to do is bake. My looks a bit different because I've put a custom render over it. But there he is. And we unlock the WWE staff as well. There we go. These obviously don't have renders, you can add them in. There's a lot of edits in here that I've done. But yeah, that's it. And you can use that slot for anything. You can override all the data, the character mapping, the renders, everything. And it'll work. And just to show you this, just turn this off. And there he is. These can all then be overridden, like I said. You can add as many characters as you want. We've got quite a lot of slots to play with this time. One thing to note as well, when you unlock a slot that has a parent, so you have one slot and you have a bunch that are linked to it, it's going to unlock every other one that comes along with it. So just keep that in mind. Your roster list might increase visibly. So if you find any problems, any issues, any bugs, you'll find me on Patreon, Twitter, and Discord. All right, thanks.